Yes. So in last class, like we have discussed about some auditing the data warehousing tables and loading the data into different format, like from flat file to database table and database table to Excels and vice versa. Okay. And today we will discuss about some more transformations. So let me connect to the project. Okay, so similarly derived column, we have one more transformation called copy column transformation. So let me tell you. So in derived column, what we are doing is we are deriving our own columns, and if required, like doing some operations on top of that, and then loading the data into our destination tables. Okay, so we have a similar transformation, but there is a limitation. Let me show you a data flow task, right? So let me remove this. We take one source and one destination. Okay, so instead of the source, yeah, so I'll take one connection, the same connection. I will take some product table. Go to the columns. It is having some name and all, right? Okay, taking that. So here we have one transformation called a copy column. Okay, so we take this copy column transformation, give the connection to copy column, open that. Here what you can do is, in the source, like we are having around 5 columns, or 5 columns we are having. If you want to replicate any of those columns, okay, instead of creating a new column, I mean like uh, creating a new column in the sense like let us say if you have product name, okay, if you want to copy this column, okay, why we need to copy the column in the destination table or any other table means, so like in real time, like what will happen is sometimes they will restrict the columns as well. Okay, that means they won't they will ask you to not to use that particular column. Why? Because there might be some uh, sensitive data. Okay, so if you are doing some operations on that sensitive data, okay, there might be chance of corrupting. Like unfortunately, if you write any update by chance, okay, or else if you write any kind of delete statement or any other data manipulation kind of things, okay, so there might be a chance of losing that particular sensitive data. So instead what they will ask is, what they will suggest is, create one more column with the same data, okay, and do not touch the actual column and do whatever the operation you want on the new column. Okay, so in that case what we do is we just create a new column, okay, and load the data into that particular column. Okay, so for that purpose, the maximum cases, like we go for a copy column. Okay, so whatever the column you want to copy, so I will just take the column as a product name or else some product ID. Okay, I want to just copy 2 columns. Click on OK. Go to the destinations. to the target. So likewise you will get two columns and then load the data. Derived column also will create a new column and copy column also will create a new column. But what is the difference between the derived column and the copy column? If you say in the copy column transformation, you are not doing, I mean like you are doing nothing, you are doing just copying the columns. You are not doing any kind of operations or else any kind of manipulations on top of the data. Okay, but in derived column, you can create a new column like how you are doing. You can copy the column like how you are doing. But in derived column, you can do some manipulations. It might be mathematical operations or else it might be string operations, it might be date kind of things, whatever it might be. Whatever you want, you can derive your own columns. But here, you are not supposed to create your own columns having your own data. That is what the difference. You can just copy the column, that's it. The only purpose for this transformation is you can just copy the column, that's it. So that is what the biggest difference between derived column and a copy column. So we have learned two things. Difference between union null and merge. Difference between derived and copy columns. Okay, so those are looks like similar, but there is some small differences. There are some limitations for each and everything. Okay, so in real time, one more thing like we will get is, let us say from source like product name. Oh, let me connect to this database. So this is what the data we are having in our table. Okay, so if you observe here a product name, some letters are caps and some letters are smalls. Like starting letter is cap and the rest all is like smalls. Okay, in some cases, okay, so not in this case, like in some cases for the display purpose or at the end of the day, once we are loading the data means like end of the day we are going to represent that particular data in the report. Data warehousing, we are saving the data in the data warehousing means end of the day we are going to generate some reports that is purely for business analysis purpose. Okay, so otherwise no need of having data warehouse with high volume of all the world data. So why we are saving world data the from day one to till today, why we are maintaining the data in the data warehouse means end of the day we are going to analyze the data. How we are going to analyze the data? Not by querying or something like this. So CEO or CFO level people, they don't have they doesn't have any kind of database knowledge. They won't go and connect to the database and they won't write any queries like this, select star from particular columns and all. Okay, so end of the day we will show all the data in a report kind of thing, and we will display the data which will have some good look and feel. Okay, for that purpose, we may need to display the data. Like let us say, I feel like this kind of representation is not good. Okay, so I want to show all the letters in caps, or else I want to show all the letters in smalls. Okay, I just want to change the format. Okay, so for that purpose, we have one transformation called character mapping transformation. Okay, so you can do here, give the link to this, go to the character map. So what you can do is you can change the style of the format. I want to see the product name. Okay, so product name, whatever the column you want to change, you can just select the column and give the operation. What operation you want to do? Here you are having many things. Okay, some Chinese language, some linguistic casting, something like that. Okay, so most of the cases we will go for changing the formats to lowercase or uppercase. Why? Because here this is clear, very clear. Bottom bracket, something like that, or else breaks or change, something like that. The representation is very clear. First letter is caps and rest all small. They are having good representation. But most of the cases, while data they are entering from the front end database. Okay, let us say if you go to any shopping mall or any something like that. Okay, in some cases they are entering the data manually, product details under through an ERP system. Okay, so in that case, there might be a chance of entering the data some letters smalls and some letters caps, something like that. In that case, the data looks like, if you display the data as is in the front end, so it won't go for good look and feel, somewhat ugly. So to avoid all those things, what we do is we will just change the case, go for all the lower cases or else go for all the upper cases. Okay, so the main purpose is this. That's the only main purpose. Just change it and then load the data. Still, in most of the environments, or else most of the front-end users, let us say some dealership kind of things, or else anything, or some other areas, like what they do is, uh, when they are entering the data, maximum of the cases they will get some pop-up. Okay, they are trying to enter some product name. When they uh, press some starting letter, automatically the pop-up will come, and then they will select from the pop-up list the particular product name, or else anything from some names, or else city names, or else country name, something like that. In some ERP systems, it won't give any kind of pop-ups and all. Okay, they need to enter the names and all manually. So that is what the biggest mistake, or also biggest drawback with the manually entering systems. So this is all commander data correction. We are just correcting the data, available data, whatever the data we are available, just correcting the data. Where it went? Molex is we executed. What happened? Okay, so one column is coming from copy column transformation. The name is as product name CC. I have created product name CC, but into which column I am populating? So here I haven't created anything, right? Output alias will come as product name CC. Two columns, copy of product ID. I have only one column, but it is showing two columns. Okay, change. Output alias as product name. I will change this to uppercase. OK. Refresh the tables. See, earlier what happened is we already taken a copy column transformation, and from that we are generating one column name as copy of the product name. Again we took the same character map transformation. There also when we have selected as generate output to new column, and that name is also copy the product name, but we haven't mapped this column, we haven't touched this column. in the destination, whatever the column we are having in already, so it is mapping to that particular column. So that's why everything got messed up. So likewise, you can use a character map transformation. So you can see all the letters, whatever the string you are having. So it is changing all the letters into the uppercase. Okay. Similarly, you can change all the letters if you want, like to lowercase. Okay. So lowercase. So earlier we saw about merge transformation. Right. So in the merge, what we did, we have sorted the data and we have loaded the data without any condition into the destination, if you remember. We haven't specified for the merge to load the data. Only thing we did is we just sorted the data. Okay. So in database backend, like we have some joins concept. Okay. So the joins concept. What are the different joins available? Full outer join, left outer join, right outer join. Okay. So full outer join means it will display all the rows. Okay. So when you are joining two tables, okay, some table A, select from table A. Okay. A, full outer join B, full outer join B on some condition. A dot column 1 equal to B dot column 1. Okay. So what it will display is whatever the data it is matching with this particular condition. Okay. So it will display all those matching records from the table A. Okay. And the rest of rows, whichever is not matching with that particular condition from the both the tables. Okay. In table A I have 10 records. In table B I have 15 records. So with that table, with that condition, okay, A dot C1 equal to B dot C1. Okay, so with that condition, from table A, how many columns are matching? I mean like around 5 rows are matching. So what it will display is it will display those 5 rows from the table A and the rest of the rows from the table A and table B. Okay, so if you specify left outer join, okay, left outer join, that means select all the columns, select all the data from left side table. In this particular example, what is the left side table? A, and right side table is B. So if you specify left outer join, it will display entire data from table A. So indirectly what we can tell is whatever the matching records from table A with this condition, whatever the matching records from table A, it will display matching records from A and non-matching records from A. Matching records from A and the rest of the records from from A table, it will display. If you specify right outer join, that means get all the records from right outer join, right table, right side table. Right outer join means matching records from table B matching records from table B on all the non-matching records. Okay, if the B is having 25 records. Okay, so assume like matching records are 5. Okay, so it will display matching records 5 and whatever the rest of records we are having 20. So it will display 25. So indirectly we can say like total table, if you specify right join, then it will display all the records from right side table. If you specify left outer join, it will display all the records from left side table. If you give full outer join, then it will give the entire data. First it looks for the matching records, and then it will pull all the non-matching records as well. So that is what the normal joins concept. Okay, so if you want to, I mean like what you are doing here, you are just merging two tables. Okay, you are just merging more than one table. You are joining two tables and pulling out the records using those two tables. So earlier in merge, what you did in the merge also, like you are joining two tables, but there is no condition. Simply you are retrieving the information from the tables. Okay, and just dumping the data. So if you want to pull the data using some condition, how to pull that? Let us see. What is join? Let me remove. So I will take two sources to keep two tables. Okay, and I will take one destination. OLEDB source. Uh, Let us see what is the data we are having. So in both the tables we can join using business entity ID. Let us see. So first table is this one. Pick the columns and pick the second table. So here also you need to sort the information, like how you are doing for merge. That means merge, whatever the transformation you are having for merge and merge join, they will accept only sorted information. I will sort based on the employee ID, which is nothing but the business ID, business entity ID. Here also I will sort with business entity ID. After this, take that merge join transformation. Merge join transformation. See, in the merge, if you look at the symbol, both the symbols are same, but in between merge is having up and down arrows. That means there is no condition. Okay, simply rows will flow, I mean like in between the task freely. But in the merge you are having plus condition. That means you need to specify some condition. Okay, you are going to join two tables. Plus in the sense you are going to joining two tables. So give the output to merge join. So what is the input that you want to give? Okay, so for joins there is specifically left table and right table that we are talking about, right? So what this output you want to treat as? I want to treat this one as left side input. Okay, left table, and obviously this will goes to as right table. Okay, so at the time of selection it is asking you. Okay, so how you want to treat me this table output? I want to treat this table output as left side out. Okay, and this one as right side. Go to merge join, open the merge join. See, automatically relation has happened. Okay, why? Because column names are matching, right? So automatically system has taken care of the matching. Okay, so even I thought of matching with the business entity. That means this is what the key that I am having. So I thought of joining with the key. If you see here you are having a different join types. Inner join, left outer join, full outer join. Okay, so no need to write the query. If you want to, I mean, like with in the back end, whatever the join query that you are writing over here, so you can just specify the join, whatever the join you want, inner join, or else you want to go for left outer join, or else you want to go for right or full outer join. Okay, so inner join, it will give only matching records. Okay, so let us say I want for display purpose I will take business entity, like whatever the columns you are selecting here, that means they will come under in select list. Business entity id, department id, um, start date, and some end date and modified date. Okay, so you need to observe one thing, that from table A I am just picking A dot business entity ID, A dot department ID, and from table B dot start date, B dot end date, B dot modified date. Why I am specifying A dot and B dot means in real time, like you are joining two tables means that you are going to pick up the columns from different tables. Okay, so that's the purpose. You are joining the two tables or else multiple tables in the backend. That is the purpose of join. That means getting the data from more than one table. You have to join those tables based on one particular ID. Okay, that's why we are joining the tables. Otherwise, no need of joining the tables. Okay, so let us say you are having employee data and you are having department data. Finally, you want to display uh, both the tables data in one place. Okay, in one select. How you are going to display? You have to pick some columns from employee and you have to pick some columns from department table. But without join, it's not possible. Okay, so that's why we need to join both the tables. In employee table, every employee must belongs to one department, obviously. Okay, and every details tables, department details will available in department table. So employee and department table we will join using a department id. Okay, so it will check with the department id and pick all the employees details, and apart from that you can get the details from department table as well. So once after selecting the columns, click on OK. So you need to take care of selecting the columns from the joining tables. Why? Because here you have only 6 columns or 5 or 6 columns. Okay, so in real time, like you may have uh, more columns, and in sometimes like you may have a similar column name from both the tables. Both are different tables. Here you have similar, both are same tables, but in real time both are different tables. Okay, and both may have similar column names in sometimes. Even though they are having similar column names, the data might be different. Okay, as according to the table's nature, the data might be different. So in that case, which column you are selecting is the important thing. You need to remember. This is what the important point. If you miss this point, you may get no issues with the data. So check the requirement from the client. What the column, I mean from which table they are taking the column. Okay, purchase date. You are joining two tables, and in both the tables you are having purchase date column. Okay, so from the second table in the source query, like in the source in the requirement, they asked us to pick the purchase date from the second table instead from the first table. So in that case you have to check. If you forgot to give the aliases also you have to change. Let us say select from, okay, product table and some uh, branch table. Okay, left outer join branch table on, okay, a dot product id equal to b dot product id. Here the business scenario is I'm joining product table and branch table. Okay, so product table is having the information about a product and product purchase date, product manufacturer date, or something like that. Okay, in the main godown I'm maintaining all the products. So whatever the goods I'm having in my main godown, so all the information I'm maintaining in product table. So what is the information? Product name, product manufacturer date, product purchase date. Product purchase date in the sense like when that particular product has been purchased by main godown. Okay, so and product IDs, product cost, something like that. In the branch details, what I'm having is branch name, branch ID, branch location. Okay, what are the different products that branch is having, and when that particular product has been purchased by a particular branch. Okay, so here in product table also I am having purchase date. In branch table also I am having purchase date. Okay, so what the client requirement is, client thought of pick the purchase date from product table. That means product purchased by main godown. Okay, so if you forgot to specify a dot purchase date, then there might be a chance of getting the purchase date from branch B. I mean branch table. Why? Because in branch also you are having purchase date. So what this purchase date is? Product purchased by branch from the main godown. So both are different. So in that case, alias give the difference. Okay. So if you give B, then the result will goes to error result. Okay. Client thought of pick the purchase date from product table, but you are taking the purchase date from B table. So which is some wrong data. So that's why you need to take care of selecting the columns from the joining tables and some more columns from product name, okay, b dot branch name or else branch id, something like that. Okay, so likewise you have to write the query and you have to select the proper column from the proper table by specifying the alias before the column name while selecting the columns. So That's why just after that go for destination, open this, keep the destination table in target. Save the data and then execute. 296 rows are coming from left and 30 rows are coming from right, and totally how many records we are matching? Only 40 rows. Okay, so those will goes to the destination. Earlier, if you observe in the merge transformation, what we did is we are just getting all the records, we are just getting all the records into this sort transformation and populating all the records to merge. So it will give the entire data into destination. But in the merge join, it is restricting. How it is restricting? Based on the condition. Okay, what the condition? If entity ID is equal to entity ID, then only get all the details from the selector. I mean, then only get all the columns and then load the data into the destination. Okay, so likewise, if you go for this is for inner join. Okay, something like that, you can go for full outer join. Okay, so how many records we are matching earlier? 30 records we are matching earlier, and whatever the rest of the records we are having from both and from both source and target, so only those records we are getting into the destination. So totally 330 records. Okay, so in this, like, you may have some duplicates records as well. So that's why before loading the data into the destination, or else before loading the data into the destination, you have to check with the source as well. See, in the second table, first table we don't have any duplicates. Yeah, in first table also, like, we are having some duplicates, 16. Okay, and in second table, yeah, second table we have many duplicates. Okay, so likewise you need to check the data. And apart from this, earlier we are discussing about loading the data into flat files. Okay, or else loading the data from database tables, I mean flat files to database tables. Okay, so what we did is we just took one flat file source and we have taken one OLEDB destination component and then loaded the data. But in some cases in the sense, for the first time, I mean very beginning of the project, for the first time, client is sending one flat file. Okay, or else even in the mid of the projects also, for some of the subject areas you are newly starting. Okay, altogether it is newly starting what we call vertical. So in that case, like, client is sending some flat file, that flat file is having some millions of records. Okay, assume like it is having some millions of records. So if you have some millions of records in database table, you can there is no other way, instead of creating data flow task and uh, taking one source component and destination component and we can load the data. Okay, apart from that, we don't have any other way for table to table loading. Okay, and for table loading, from table to table loading, it won't take that much of time. But if a flat file is having that much of high volume of data, okay, and if you build any data flow task, and if it is one time process. Okay, most of the cases if it is one time process, then it's not required to have a data flow task inside of the database, I mean inside of SSIS, and take one data flow task, again go for a flat file source connection source and OLEDB destination, and again configuring the flat file source connection, pointing, mapping the columns and all. It will take some time, and if you do like that, picking the records from that high volume of file, okay, so obviously it will slow down the process. To avoid that thing, we have one task called, we can load the entire data at a stretch. So to achieve that, we have one transformation called bulk insert. Okay, so using this bulk insert task, what you can do is simply you can specify the file path and what we can say, the table the table name. Okay, then it will load the data, it will dump the data very easy. Let me take, in control flow you have one task called bulk insert. Okay, take that bulk insert task, open that. Okay, load product dump. Okay, go to connection. Here you need to give two things. One is connection, into which table you want to load the data and where the table is existed. So I will load the data into my target connection and destination table. Here the thing that you need to take care of is, before here you don't have multiple components. Okay, earlier what you have data flow task inside of that source component and destination component. But here what you need to do is, whatever the file you want to load, okay, so for that loading you have to define your destination. You have to have already, your destination already existed. There is no chance of creating like a destination ad hocly here. Earlier we have, there is a chance of creating the destination ad hocly by having an option as new, but you don't have any option over here. You have to have the existing destination. Okay, so let me check what is the file. So assume like this is what our flat file, and in this how many columns? Product category, name, row id, modified date. Only 4 columns we are having, right? So let us see what is the table that it is having. Product id, product name, row id, modified date. 5 columns we have. Yes, it is having the same columns. So in that destination, what is my table name? ff source db. This is what my table. And what is the file that you want to load? Give the source connection. So it is already existed and pick that file. This is what my file. Click on OK. Okay, and go to the option. Here you have to specify what is the first row. Okay, so in the file, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, we have 5 rows. Okay, so I don't want to load this particular row into my database since it is the header row. Okay, so I want to read the rows from the second row itself, right? So then what is the first row for my database? It is from second. Click on OK. Save this and then execute this. So this won't show, like here this won't show much difference in this example. Why? Because we don't have, frankly speaking, we don't have any data, like only 4 rows. Okay, but in real time, as I told you, millions of records and you will get more columns. Okay, number of columns, 10, 50 columns, something like that. So in that case, the file size will grows like anything. Okay, even like some 100 MB, 200 MB, or else even sometimes it will go for 1 GB or something like that. So in that case, if you are loading that much of high volume of data, and in that particular data we will have a different data types. We will have integers, characters, date data types, okay, and even in that, like we are having some special characters. These are all the special characters. Okay, braces, colons, okay, some commas, something like that. See, these are all the special characters. Even it needs to take care of all those things. So to calculate each and everything and to take care of all those things, like it will take obviously more time for that's why when we are loading the data from flat file to destination, it will take more time comparatively with the database to database. Flat file to destination, flat file to database table will take more time. To avoid that thing, and if you are not using that particular task more than one time, or if it is very rare conditions, the rare condition execution, then you go for bulk insert. Okay, so what bulk insert will do is it will allocate high amount of temporary memory. Okay, it will allocate high amount of temporary memory, and it will pick high amount of records, high volume of records into the temporary memory at a time, and then dump the data into destination table. For normal loading, it will allocate small amount of temporary memory. Okay, if you are using data flow task and flat file source and DB destination, it will allocate small amount of temporary memory. That's why every time it will pick some chunks of records. Okay, some 1,000 records, 10,000 records, something like that. In this bulk insert, it will allocate high amount of temporary memory. So it will allocate like more times whatever the temporary memory was allocated for data flow task, right? So it will allocate the more amounts of temporary memory, and it will pick more amounts of data at a time and then load the data. So that's why this task, the name itself called as bulk insert. Okay, bulk loading. So instead of like every time, I mean, whenever you see this kind of flat files, okay, and if you feel like it is one time effort, or else if it is a rarely executing process, so instead of going for all the uh, data flow task kind of stuff and all, so straight away you can go for a bulk insert task, mostly for the history loads. Okay, first time you are creating the package, and client is sending some high volume of data from his past transactions. So obviously you will get high volume of data. So if it is a flat file kind of sources, then it is better to go with bulk insert tasks. Okay, so in data warehousing, like we have a format of loading the data as source to stage and then dims, after that facts. Okay, so this is what the general format of loading the data into data warehouse. For source to stage data, like you may have some uh, 10, 20, 30 tables. For each and every loading, for each and every table loading, what you are doing, you are just creating one data flow task. Okay, inside you are taking one package, and inside of the package you are creating one data flow task and loading the data, or in some cases like creating separate package for that, for each and every table loading and loading the table data. Once after loading, what you do, you load the data into dimensions. You may have 10, 20 or 30 dimensions. In that case, what you need to do, again you need to build each and I mean, as per the requirement, you thought of building one package for each and every dimension. So again, the package size, number of packages will goes on increase. Okay, if you have facts more than 4 or 5 facts, then again you thought of building one package for each fact and then load the data. Again the package size will increase. So finally what you are doing, you are just loading the data by creating a main ETL package, and instead of that, like you are calling all the packages. So it looks clumsy. Okay, why? Because I mean, like you can see more and more tasks or else more and more packages. Okay, so for a convenience, for our developer convenience, in most of the cases what we do is we will just group the tasks. Okay, we will group the task. So all the source to staging tables we will keep as one group. Okay, all the dimensions we will keep as one group, and all the facts we will keep as one group. How to group means, we have a container grouping, in the sense we will keep in a container, sequence container. Take the sequence container into your workspace. Okay, and let me delete this. Okay, so likewise we have many tasks. So there is a relation between each and every task. One second. So if you have the packages like this, okay, so like the task, we may have many tasks, not only data flow task. Okay, so you may have execute SQL task, you may have package execute package task, or any other different tasks you may have. So once you look at the package, you feel like it is somewhat clumsy. So what you can do is you can just group the tasks. Just take the sequence container, whatever you feel like these are similar tasks. Let us say up to here. Okay, if I feel like up to here, okay, so up to here, I feel like this is somewhat stage loading. Okay, so what I can do is I can just take this, first remove the connection, delete, take all the tasks, drag to that particular sequence container inside of the sequence container. Okay, after that, what is the next task for this? Where we have disconnected, here we have disconnected, right? So give the connection from sequence container to this. Okay, so you feel like this is what individual task, I don't want to keep that particular task in any container. Again, you feel like these are all the dimensions, these three are the dimensions. Again, you can take one more sequence container and remove the connection from here to here, and then from here to here remove this connection, take all, place in the sequence container. Okay, so now what is the connection from here to, it needs to come here. Once the process comes here, then it will start loading from here and then here and then here. So once after loading, again from where, I mean to where you need to go, I want to go here. Okay, so again these two are, I assume like these two are also having some link. Okay, so I thought of execute this after this particular task. Okay, so in that case again I will take one more sequence container, just remove the connection and give the connection from here to sequence container and take these two, drag to the sequence container and then place. Okay, so now it looks somewhat simple. So if anybody comes, then they can just simply they can understand the process. So I will give this one as stage loading. Okay, so some uh, single loading, some table loading. Okay, let me keep that name as is. After that, assume like this is dimensions loading. Okay, so I feel like this one also some dimes loading. Okay, so likewise you can group the task. Okay, so it will give some good appearance when you look at the package, and you can easily understand where if you are looking for any stage table loading, then straight away you can go for the you can open this particular container, you can look for that particular table loading where it is exactly. If it is dimensions, then you can see in this particular container or else in this particular container. Okay, so likewise you can group the tasks. So like I mean how you are grouping means like group the task by its nature. Okay, what that particular task is loading, is it stage loading or else it is dimes loading or else it is fact loading, or else any other kind of stuff, any kind of updates. Okay, something like that. So likewise you can group the tasks. So that's it for today.